Hi students, today we are going to review the grammar that we learned from week 1 to 9. This will be a quick review, but you can press pause at any time to stop and look in your book and review the grammar that you need more practice with. Let's begin. First, we learned adverbs of frequency. So remember, always is for 100%, then we go down, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, hardly ever, and never is 0%. Rarely and hardly ever are the same. Okay. More adverbs of frequency. We use adverbs of frequency with simple present verbs, so verbs in the present tense. For most of the verbs, so all the verbs, we will use the adverb before the verb. So, I always listen to music. And here we have the adverb before the verb. You usually eat lunch at 12 o'clock p.m. So this is true for all verbs except the be verb. For the be verb, we put the verb first and then we use the adverb. I am always early to class. Or, she is never angry. We have the be verb and then the adverb. Okay, then we have quantifiers. This is a lot of information here, but we will just review the quantifiers that we practiced in class. So we learned that with count nouns, we can use a couple of, we can use a few of, and over here it says a few of the. So we could say a few of the students need books. With count nouns, we can also use many. Many of the students attend class. Several. Several of the students need books. And we also learned quantifiers we can use with non-count nouns. For example, we can use a little. They need a little help. And much. We don't have much time. For both count nouns and non-count nouns, we can use other quantifiers. For example, all of the students must buy books, or all of the homework is due today. A lot of the books are missing. They spent a lot of the money. Most of the students are here today. Most of the homework is useful. We can use none of for both. None of the students came late. And we can also use some of for both. Some of the students came late. Okay, let's go on to the future tense. For the future tense, we can use be going to plus the base verb. For example, I am going to go shopping. We have go is the base verb. We can use negative sentences. He is not going to be late. The base verb is be. We also use will plus the base verb for the future. For all the subjects, we always use will and the base verb. We could say he will come tomorrow. We will come tomorrow. Or she will come tomorrow. And if you want negative, you can say you won't. You won't eat dinner. They won't eat dinner. And remember, for will and be going to, we use them for different reasons. When we are talking about facts, so true statements, we can use will or be going to. If we are making a prediction about the future, we can use will or be going to, so we could use both. If we're talking about future plans, we can only use be going to. So maybe for your vacation, I am going to Mexico for vacation. Here, that is a future plan, so we must use be going to. For quick decisions, we can only use will. And for offers, requests, or promises, we can only use will. Okay, moving on to past ability. We use could to talk about past ability. For all the subjects, it's the same. We use could plus the base verb. So, you could play basketball. She could play basketball. And for negative sentences, we use could not, but we usually will say couldn't. You couldn't play basketball. We couldn't play basketball. And we can also use was or were able to. I was able to walk when I was a baby, but probably I wasn't. I wasn't able to walk when I was a baby. Or we were not, we weren't. We weren't able to walk when I was a baby. And remember, you can push pause at any time and write this in your notebook or review. And for was, were, able to, this is this the present or the past? Correct, this is the past. So could and was, were, able to are used for the past. Could is the same as was, were, able to. They have the same meaning. For example, we can say, I could swim when I was 5 years old. Or, I was able to swim when I was 5 years old. We could also say, they could play the guitar when they were children. Or, they were able to play the guitar when they were children. Or, because he had no money, John couldn't finish his university education. Or, because he had no money, John wasn't able to finish his university education. So these are the same if it's negative, so couldn't or wasn't, and it's the same if it's positive, could or were able to. Okay, remember, if we're talking about one day or one time, we do not use could. For example, these sentences are incorrect. I could go to class yesterday. Yesterday is one day, so we cannot say this. We must say, I was able to go to class yesterday. Fernanda could visit her family 1 year ago. This is one specific time. 1 year ago, we cannot use could. We could say Fernanda couldn't, or Fernanda was able to. And Jing could watch the news last night. Last night is one time, so we cannot use could. We need to say Jing was able to watch the news last night. Okay, and we have used to. So for used to, remember, if it's positive, we need the D. I used to carry my baby in my lap with the base verb. If it's negative, we don't use a D. We didn't used to have car seats. We need the base verb. And with questions, if we ask a question with did, a yes or no question with did, we don't need the D. Did you used to share hospital rooms? Yes, we did. No, we didn't. If it's a WH question, you still need the D. How many nurses used to work in the OR? I'm not sure. maybe 10. And OR, this is operating room in a hospital. Okay. We use used to for past habits that have changed. For example, Mario used to have long hair. Now he has short hair. Or Tony didn't used to exercise every day. Now he exercises every day. These two situations are different. And we just recently learned the past continuous and the simple past. When we use the past continuous with the simple past, one action continues, but the simple past stops in the middle. For example, we were waiting for the bus when we saw a car accident. All of the blue, we were waiting. And then we saw the car accident. So we saw the car accident, that is finished. We were waiting, that continued. Another example, they were watching TV when the bell rang. Were watching continues, and then in the middle, the bell rang, and this action finished. If we use the past continuous with the past continuous, it means two actions happened at the same time. For example, I was having coffee, she was eating ice cream. This happened in the past, but they both happened at the same time. Okay, and that's all the review that we have. You can watch this video again, you can look in your book, you can review your notes in your notebook, and when you are ready, you can take the review grammar quiz in Blackboard. Good luck!